So in today's video, we'll be going through how to replicate and create a $0 basically free copywriting assistant which will write copy for you on behalf of you. Sounds exactly like how you're supposed to say and write stuff, and we'll be diving straight into this in just a second, but let me just show you guys a demo real quick of how this all really works. So let's just click on execute workflow here and take a look at what n8n spits out after going through these AI agents. As you can see here, we have 3 AI agents right here. The first AI agent is called the copy chief agent, which is the primary copywriter. And then secondly, it's then going to pass the output to the proofreading agent, which is then going to proofread the first copywriter's work. Because from my experience of doing copywriting for over a few years now, lots of businesses will hire different copywriters just to proofread each other's work. So this is what we're actually doing here. It's then going to pass the output to the scoring agent. We're going to actually score the copy from a rating from 1 to 10, an average score. It's then going to push that output into a Slack channel, which we're then going to be able to see. So let's go over to here, daily emails. As you can see, it spit out an email with the subject line as well as the copy right here. And we can just copy and paste this and send this as our own. As you can see here, n8n actually spit out a full email copy for us, including the subject line. It's going to be scheduled to do this every single day. As you can see here, it's a daily trigger, which means that every single day, this workflow will execute and it'll shoot us an email that we're then able to send on behalf of ourselves without actually having to write it ourselves. So right now, we're going to be diving into exactly how we can replicate this step by step. So follow along and let's get straight into the nitty gritty. All right. So the first thing we want to do is you want to set up a daily trigger. All right. So how often do you want this to run? Do you want this to run twice a day? How many emails do you need to send a day? Or how many blog posts or YouTube scripts do you need to write every single day? This will be depending on your own schedule. But for me, we're going to be just doing one daily trigger. So if you don't know how to set this up, all we're going to do is just click on the plus button on the top right hand corner and click on daily trigger. All right. So we're going to click on that. And then the trigger interval is going to be days, and it's going to be one day between triggers, and it's going to trigger at 9 a.m. every single day at the beginning of the day. All right. So that is pretty much the first trigger. All right. So the next step is pretty much setting up an HTTP request. So what this node does is pretty much pulls information from, let's say, a third-party API. It might be YouTube, it might be Google. So in our case, it's going to be YouTube because I do post YouTube videos. So what we're going to do is essentially just take all my existing YouTube videos that I've posted in the past. It's then going to get all these videos and try to scrape them. It's then going to analyze all my YouTube videos in that playlist, and it's then going to transcribe them and then pass them on to the AI agent, which is then going to use that and create its own copy, which sounds exactly like me. So let's go into the HTTP request. If you don't know how to set that up, we're just going to click on the plus button and just type in HTTP request here and click on that. So we're going to double click on that. We want to set the method as get. And for the URL, you want to copy and paste this URL if you're using YouTube videos as your means of inspiration for the copy agent. All right. So you might be doing blog posts, you might be doing something else like podcasts. You might have that on a Google Drive folder. But if you upload YouTube videos, and that will suffice for your copy agent to actually take those videos and make them into new emails or blog posts or whatever copy that you want to write. If it's YouTube, then you want to copy and paste this exact link, which will be available also in the description below. You also want to check this query parameters here. Just to make sure it's on. So just click on that and make sure it's on. And you want to copy these few name fields here. So the first name is going to be part, and you want to put the value as snippet. All right. The next one is going to be name. It's going to be called playlist ID, because what we're going to do is we're essentially going to be getting all the videos from that specific YouTube playlist. So the second thing is going to be the playlist ID. So in our case, what we're pretty much doing is we're selecting and getting all those YouTube videos in a specific playlist ID. So if you don't know how to get your playlist ID, what we're going to do is pretty much go over to our YouTube studio here. And what we're going to do essentially is just going to select this here, pretty much this piece of code here. We're going to copy that and paste that into a new tab. So all YouTube channel playlist IDs are going to start with the word UC. All right. So what you want to do is essentially you want to just delete that C and type another U in there. And you're just going to copy that and paste that into your value right here. And you want to just type in max results for the name. And for the videos, you want to be able to select how many videos do you want to analyze before you actually push that through. And it's going to be 25 for me. You can even set that all the way up to 50. All right, but for me, it's just going to be 25. We're not going to be needing too much for now. And for the last name, you want to type in key here, and you want to paste in the code here, which is going to be your API key for your YouTube. So how do we actually find that and create that? Well, what we need to do is we want to go over to console.cloud .google.com, and then sign into your account. You want to go over to the left side bar here. You want to click on API and services and go to enabled APIs and services, go to credentials, and then go on create here a new key. All right, create a credential and create a new API key. And after that, you're just going to copy and paste that key and put that right into n8n. All right, and make sure the send headers and send body is unchecked. It's off. All right, so that's all we need for the HTTP request node. That's going to be enabling us to get that specific YouTube playlist video. So for the next node, it's going to be a Google Sheets node. So all we need to do is go on plus here and type in Google Sheets. And we're going to click on the first one. It's not a tool, it's going to be the first one. We're just going to double click on that, and then we're going to go in there and select our account here. So create a new credential, connect our account, and we want to go for resource. You want to select sheet with document, and you want to get rows for operation. All right, and you want to select your list as well as your sheet as well. All right, because you might have multiple sheets inside your Google Sheets. You might have 3 sheets, but in this case, it's referring to this sheet right here. And as you can see here, it's going to be the from name, the topic, the gold, audience. You can always change this up and add some new one. Maybe tomorrow's email, you want to make it about, I don't know, food, and the audience might be woman, right? So tomorrow's email might be completely different than today's email. So this is pretty much the whole point of the form, is to pretty much give a few parameters in which the AI agent is then going to be able to create that email for us. That is it for the Google Sheets node. We're then going to start creating our first AI agent, which is the Copy Chief agent. All right. So what we want to do to create this is going to go on to plus here, click on AI, and click on AI agent. We're then going to have an AI agent node here. We're just going to double click on that right there. We're just going to rename it and make it Copy Chief agent. As you can see here, we have a pretty long prompt. I'm just going to scroll down to show you guys what this prompt is. I actually came up with this prompt in ChatGPT. You guys can, come up with your own prompt. All you have to do is type into ChatGPT, hey, come up with a prompt for my AI agent in n8n. So as you can see here, the prompt is, you are a seasoned direct response copywriter. Write a short daily marketing email targeting people aged 30 to 70 who've worked in the field for many years: real estate, trucking, medical, legal, construction, fitness, finance, etc. These people may not be super tech savvy, some might be smart and successful. I'm not going to go through the entire prompt here. You guys can pause the screen and copy and paste, take a screenshot, even copy this yourself. But this will differ from business to business and purpose to purpose. So it depends on what you're selling and what your offer and your business is about in nature. So this is going to be the first Copy Chief agent. We're not going to have to, select any memory or connect any tools. All we need to do is just select a chat model. In our case, I like Claude better for copywriting. So we're just going to select Anthropic and create a Claude account and just connect that Claude account. It's super simple to do. And we're just going to use Claude for Sonnet. So this is pretty much going to write our first draft of copy, or the email, and it's then going to pass this onto the proofreading agent. And as you can see here, the output is a fully written email with the subject as well as the email itself. So it's then going to pass this output onto the next agent, which is called the proofreading agent, right? So again, it's the same as last step. We're just going to click on plus here and click on AI and go to AI agent. Right? And in our case, this agent's entire duty is to proofread, right? So we're going to just expand this right here and take a look at the prompt real quick. All right. So you are a senior direct response copy chief. Your job is to proofread and improve the following short email written for a cold audience of 30 to 7-year-olds. Here's what you need to do: proofread for grammar, spelling, and flow. If needed, rewrite the parts to make them clearer, punchier, or more emotionally gripping. Make sure the reading level is low. Hemingway grade 5 or lower. This is pretty much the entire duty of the proofreading agent, is just to improve upon the first draft. And after we've actually improved upon the first draft, and again, it's the same settings as the last agent, guys. It's going to be the same model for the chat, and for the LLM, it's going to be Claude for Sonnet. And we're going to then pass that output. We can click on the output here, and it's pretty much going to be different from the previous output. You can just pause the screen and just give it a little read. It's going to be a little different, probably a little better than the previous email, because the proofreading agent has actually done its job. We're then going to pass that output into a new agent called a scoring agent. So what this agent does, again, we're going to go into the AI node. We're going to click on AI agent. It's pretty much the same settings as the previous two agents, but all we have to do is change the prompt here. Again, we're connecting the Anthropic chat model Claude for Sonnet, and then for the prompt here, we're going to expand it, and it's pretty much going to be grading the proofread copy version. So if you take a look at the prompt here, it's pretty much selecting the output that the proofreading agent has just sent us, which is this one right here. And then we're just gonna pretty much add another prompt on top. You are a veteran direct response copywriter and email marketing expert. Your job is to analyze the email below and rate it across the following categories. So we have a few different categories: open rate potential, click rate potential, which means how likely is someone gonna open that email or click that email given the strength of the copy, how readable is it, how much connection it has with the reader, how much urgency. All right, so it says return your ratings in a number of a format, just a number. All right, let's say 8. All right, so it's gonna then output a single number, let's say 7.2. So the output here is 7.2. So let's say it's 7.2 now here. We're gonna move that output into the next field, which is the edit field section. So in order to create this, we're gonna click on plus here, and we're just gonna type in edit fields. All right, we're gonna click on that, and we're just gonna double click on this to kind of change the configuration. So what we're gonna put here is we're just gonna type in average score, and for here we're gonna put number, and then we're just gonna drag the output, JSON output here. So pretty much like that. All right, drag it to there, and it's gonna give us and output us a single number. All right, so here we have an if-else statement. All right, so how do we actually select this or create this? We're gonna click on the plus here, click on if, and we're just gonna click on that. All right, we're gonna double click on that, and you wanna pretty much drag this right here and just fill that in right there. And we wanna make this greater than or equal to 8, because if the email score is greater than or equal to 8, that means it's good enough to be sent out on behalf of us. All right, so if it's lower than an 8, then we're gonna want to create a few changes and send it out again after the proofreading agent or the scoring agent has deemed the score higher than an 8. All right, so we're gonna click on the if statement here. If it's greater than or equal to 8, then it's gonna send a Slack message. So pretty much as we can see here, right? This email here is already over an 8, hence why it's been sent to us. So we're just gonna create the true path here. We're gonna click on plus, and then we're just gonna click on plus here and select Slack. All right, again, it's not the Slack tool, it's gonna be just the Slack app. All right, we're gonna double click on that, connect our Slack account, and the resource is gonna be send a message. All right, so we're not sending a file, we're not sending an image, we're not sending a reaction, we're just sending a message. All right, and the operation is called send because we're sending a message, we're not searching for a message, we're not updating a message or deleting a message, we're just sending it. And we're just gonna send the message to a channel rather than to a user. And for the channel, you want to select your list. We have a lot of different lists here, but we're just going to select the list that we are interested in. And the message type is just going to be a simple text message, and then we're just going to create that right here. We're just going to pretty much put that output into today's new email, and that's going to be the true step. All right. So for the false step is pretty much, let's say the score is lower than an 8. What we're going to do is we're going to send that into an editing agent, which is then going to rewrite it or write it again to make it more than an 8. So then we're going to be able to send that email back to Slack. So regardless of whether or not the score is lower or above 8, we're still going to get a message at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it's going to be over an 8. So the editing agent, again, it's going to be the same agent as the previous ones, but we're just going to have a different prompt, right? So we're going to create a new AI agent here. Click on AI, click on AI agent. We're going to connect this agent to the chat model Claude, the Anthropic chat model, the Claude 4 Sonnet, and we're going to take a look at the prompt here. All right, you're a senior direct response email copywriter. Your job is to fix and rewrite the following email so it scores 8 or higher across the following performance criteria. Target persona, rules. Again, guys, you can write this with ChatGPT. I did this myself with ChatGPT as well. And after it has this output, we're gonna then score it again and make sure we send it as an email into Slack, which is gonna be the same configurations as the previous node. Again, message, the operation is send message to a channel, and this specific channel, daily emails, and we wanna make the message type the JSON output. All right, and that is exactly how we start creating emails and copywriting emails and blog posts and even YouTube video scripts just with n8n by replicating this exact flow. So if you enjoyed this video today, if you found some value, please give this video a like and subscribe for more videos coming up. I'm super excited to see you in the next video.